Hello, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show. This is no ordinary podcast. This production has heart and soul, healing and wisdom, artists and authors. Deidre has spent her entire life promoting people, projects, and products that further hope and healing. She has also been a positive force in the entertainment industry as a vocalist, performer, musician, composer, conductor, author, and healer. You will be in good hands spending this time with her and her guests as they will guide you into another space where you can relax and feel their positive energy. Thank you for joining us. And now, here is the amazing Deidre Reigel with her special guest.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 4 of the Gratitude series. I am so delighted today to have Jeff Cloud as my guest, and a special thank you to Lupita Escamilla Serna, who's been a guest on the show previously, for referring Jeff and me to each other. And when we get talking with Jeff and I tell you a little bit more about him, I think you're going to understand why I'm so excited to be having this time with Jeff today. So, telling you a little about Jeff. He is the author of the book called Waking Up in the Dream. He is a rapid transformational mentor. And I will mention at this point that he has studied with Don Miguel Ruiz, who is the author of The 4 Agreements and The Mystery of Love. So he did that for 10 years and he's coming to us well prepared. Jeff has also created a monthly 30-day online Waking Up in the Dream transformational breakthrough course, which is for both men and women. If you wish to reach Jeff, Jeff's website is www.portaltoawakening.org. He is very visible on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Jeff9Cloud. And that 9 is actually a number 9. And I'm really going to encourage you to seek out this man and look at his website. Look him up on Facebook. I personally find his daily posts on Facebook extremely challenging and very interesting and, of course, very inspirational. I'd like to also mention that Jeff is a practitioner of Toltec and shamanic traditions. We are in good hands with Jeff today. And so, Jeff, welcome to the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show. Namaste, my friend.
Thank you for the kind and gracious reflections and opening. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm excited to be here and dive in a little deeper.
Yeah, welcome. So we're talking about gratitude today. And I'd like to just get right into it and ask you, what is gratitude to you?
I love this question. I'll do my best to give the best download that I would want to give to myself, because I'm really talking to myself when I'm speaking or working with anybody. We're all mirrors for each other. And so to me, gratitude is one of the most powerful magnets of attraction. It's hugely overlooked, as you're told when you're a child, or most times, yes, be very thankful, be gracious. However, to enact a daily gratitude practice, and even with the people that I work with one-on-one and do the monthly groups, I have them set alarms on their phone, 15 of them a day, that go off with either vibration or sound, depending on what they want. And it is a reminder to bring you back into the present moment amidst the 50 to 80,000 thoughts that are running on what I call automatic each day. And gratitude is one of the highest vibrations. And so everything in this vibrating holographic mirror that we call life is attracted through our inner frequency. And so gratitude is a practice that is not just lip service, it's an act. And to put your heart and every cell of your body into being grateful for every breath and everything else that you have, the universe that's supporting you and loving you in every moment, the trillions of cells in your body that are unconditionally loving you, to tune into that and really vibrate that with true gratitude is a magnet for seeming magic and miracles and synchronicities in your day, every day. It took me a long time to figure that one out because the stories and the wounds from my childhood were overriding simple things like, well, be thankful, be grateful. When you really break it down into every thought, every word, and every vibration or emotion that we're emanating is a magnetic frequency that is creating what shows up in this dream we call life.
What a beautiful way of expressing that it's a vibrational frequency. And I heard you say the word attitude. Years ago, I heard love described as, quote, an act of the will. And at the time, it didn't make much sense to me because we have all of these ideas around it. As you're talking about gratitude as a child, you're told, well, be grateful. And it doesn't sound like gratitude at all. And you're talking about this inner magnetic vibrational frequency that you by will, by conscious will, are inviting yourself into. Did I hear you correctly, Jeff?
Yeah, that's basically it. The trick is nobody ever told us that the external world, which we see out there, which isn't even, well, I won't go down that road right now. That might be a little deep. But the bottom line is everything that shows up in your life, your dream, my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, taught me, we're dreaming all the time.
Yes.
Most people think they're only dreaming when they're asleep. This is a dream right now. And if you can get comfortable with that and use it as a playground instead of something heavy, you can start to see life in this dream through the eyes of a curious and excited little child, which is what we tend to lose as adults when we go through all the programming and conditioning of society and we download the traits of our parents and our grandparents in the school system and the systems of religion and the mainstream media. And so this journey for me is really about going backwards and getting back to that curious little child that has no limitations. Because the only limitations that we have are built around belief systems that we didn't even choose. They were all given to us. So that's my, I guess, shortest answer.
Well, I love the playfulness of it. I love the fact that you're going back to that inner child that lives within all of us and really letting that child be that child. And I think there's great healing in that as well, because we have taken this programming that we were very susceptible to and really had no defense against for many of us. I find it very healing to go back and be grateful. In fact, I started to write a song over the summer, this summer of 2019, so much more to be grateful for. And I'm really asking myself to step up to that and so much more to be grateful for. So I just think you've given such a brilliant and life-affirming answer to the question. So I'd like to ask you my second question, Jeff. In your particular life right now, what is causing you the most wonderful gratitude at this moment?
Wow.
I ask the questions, don't I?
I mean, it's hard to break it down to any one thing because I start my day and I invite everybody that I engage with in the groups or whatever to go into gratitude as soon as you open your eyes. Because here's what happens. If you have to work a job or you have to take care of children or anything else, if you do not take advantage of the time when your mind is clear, as soon as you realize that you just awakened from what we call the sleeping dream, there's 50 to 80,000 thoughts of what you have to do and everything you have to do, and it's just going to start running and running and running and running. And I learned years ago through reading books and studying with mentors and things that that is a most fertile time for planting your seeds. And you can also do it through the day with the phone alarms, which is a brilliant free tool. But for me, I start off, the very first thing I go into gratitude for is those trillions of cells in my body that were serving me unconditionally. And this is really one of two teachers of true unconditional love. We can talk about love and relationships, and I love you so much as long as you're still doing what I loved about you when I met you, or, all those agreements, we've all been through it, but our innate intelligence, which is the name I got from Cryon. Cryon is Lee Carroll. He's from San Diego. So I found out about him about 20 years ago because I'm from San Diego and I followed him because he's always spot on. But our innate intelligence is those trillions of cells that are unconditionally loving and serving us in every moment, no matter what. And the other one is Mother Earth, with the air, the food, the water, the plants, the incredible birds, butterflies, dragonflies, fish, I mean, on and on and on, and ask for nothing in return. And so that's my practice every morning. And I will not step one foot out of bed before doing it. I've just trained myself.
Beautiful.
Because it is that power. I'll give you a little example. Guys are a little uncomfortable with this, but I'll go ahead and do it anyway. Because guys, if you want to be uncomfortable, you're going to be uncomfortable and wear your masks. But there's freedom in this. So if you tune in to your innate intelligence, every cell in your body, think about it, and then drop a smile on it, you're going to immediately feel your vibration go up. Now, if you do what I call toning, which is where I'm a musician, recording engineer and stuff, so frequency is everything in vibration. So if you start toning in whatever tone you want, like for me, I start out with an Om, and then I go, I love you, every cell. And while I'm doing that, you can feel that vibration is vibrating every one of your cells. So you're not only thinking it, you're not only saying it, you are washing over and vibrating every cell of your body. And again, every cell of your body is aware, awake, and it's tuning in and listening to every thought, every word, and every emotion that you have. This might sound corny to some people, but I'll tell you what, I invite you to try it out because everything is vibration.
Well, this is so true, Jeff. And if I speak about just looking at the Bible, for instance, what we call the Christian Bible, there are two scriptures that are coming to mind, if you will permit me to introduce this. One is, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, the Word was with God. Well, we now understand, I believe, word is synonymous with vibration. So we are made of sound. And like you as a musician, I get that vibrational frequency thing. Then you spoke about the body and the unconditional love of the cells and that feeling of gratitude and connecting with Mother Nature that asks for nothing in return. And I would refer to Psalm, I believe it's 119, where it says, our bodies are fitfully and wonderfully made. As a dancer myself, as a musician, as a woman, as a being, to look at my body and say, wow, oh my gosh, it knows exactly what to do. And it's unconditional. No matter what I put my body through, it always rebounds. It may be a little angry with me and say, Deidre, why did you do that yesterday? But the body rebounds with love. And that causes me such gratitude to look at my fingers, to look at my face, to understand that my body has an intrinsic genius in it. And I think that is the foundation of gratitude. And then you spoke about toning, and I call it vibrational singing, letting the whole body consciously vibrate with sound. What a great way to start your day. I wanted to repeat that for our listeners because that is such a powerful and life-affirming way to begin your day. Thank you for sharing that, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the opportunity. I had to learn like everybody else. I'm constantly seeking, and the journey really is within. There's a lot of joy to be seen in the external world, but the external world is really going to mirror what's going on within us. And yes, there's the collective as well, but our invitation is to clean up this frequency generator and then watch the magic and miracles happen because we truly are unlimited. That is not just a statement. We're only limited by our beliefs. And that's why I post so many things about thinking outside the box. There is no box.
There is no box.
We're taught there's a box and it's your belief system. And then the ego wants to get triggered by anything that goes against that belief system. So what's everybody going to do? Unless they expand their conscious awareness, they're just going to keep looping in these small little boxes and think that they're expanding. And I'm not saying nobody is. I'm just using that as a general frame up of what's really going on here on a deeper level to open up some doors for people.
Well, we're making a beautiful shift in the conversation where we can begin to talk about your work a little bit. And I was just realizing today how much of our time we can spend in any given day going from moment to moment, just trying to make ourselves feel good about ourselves, trying to defend whatever it is we have to defend or whatever imaginary attacks we might feel. And it was so astounding to me that I literally stopped walking from point A to point B, and like I was having that thought for the first time. And I thought, that's an interesting thing because many of us have been on our spiritual path and looking at these mirrors and doing our soul work would be what I would call it. And it was just shocking to me because I actually realized I was in a moment of egoic defense, or I felt that I needed to grab onto anything I could to momentarily make myself feel good about myself. And I literally stopped what I was doing and took it literally physically, then took a step back as if I wanted to observe it all. I burst out laughing. And then there was a moment of gratitude saying, thank you for that awareness. So all of this then causes me to want to ask you two more questions before we're going to run out of interview time here. So I want to get right to it. Jeff, what led you to the writing of your book called Waking Up in the Dream and creating your online course journey for people? Please tell us, if you can, what happened?
I'll give you the short version. The simple answer is pain.
That. Okay.
And then that led into, I was a recording engineer. I was living in my studios in San Diego, and I had a pretty good life. I was recording people from all over the world. And, there was a lot of alcohol involved at times. I was just a beer drinker, not heavy, but, you drink beer every day. You're dabbling in drugs, and you were not given the tools for relationships. I was running a belief system simply like everybody else. And what people tend to do is, if anything goes against that belief system, they get what I call in the book automatically triggered. So most people are running on what I call automatic response and reaction mode. And the key, and what I teach in this 4-week journey, is to become an observer like you have never been before. And it's a very fun journey. But once you see what the ego does and how it defends in every case and how it feeds off of judgments, it's the biggest wake-up call ever. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. But a person cannot change something that they cannot see. So it was pain in the beginning. Then through synchronicity, I found out about the 4 agreements. And then several months later, I heard that Miguel was speaking in San Diego. He lived where I live. And then as soon as I heard him speak, I'm like, this guy has something that I want. I worked my way into becoming his personal recording engineer. And that led to a 10-year relationship of doing 3-day dreaming weekends every month and going to the pyramids at Teotihuacan, which is outside of Mexico City, 6 times, and just really immersing myself in with the teachings and just asking the deeper questions and becoming accountable. And there's plenty of times when my ego would come up. I was in fear. I was in doubt. I was upset. I was triggered. And little by little, I just started downloading. Now, the book didn't come out until after I had met Miguel and studied with him for 10 years. And then I had was using the tools for about another 7 years. And then I just started downloading the book, and I was like, what would I tell somebody if I was going to tell them tomorrow so they didn't have to spend 17 years to figure this out? And I could just give it to them with no fluff. And that's what became the course. I never planned on writing a book. I never planned on creating a course. But I do remember when I met Miguel and I heard him speak, back in my mind, I was like, if I could do that someday, that would be pretty worthwhile. But for me, I always thought it was going to be guitar and music, and it still is to this day. But this is just, it's a whole nother story how my house in San Diego flooded and I ended up traveling the world and then writing the book and stuff. And that may not even be valuable.
Well, Jeff, when we hook into ourselves and our magnificence, and when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. So you were ready, and Don Miguel came into your life, and you had this whole other scenario open up for you. And just even the little bit that we've heard your story, the synchronicities, the fortuitousness of it is amazing. And I'm sure there's so much more detail to your story, but I celebrate with you what has happened for you. And I'm sure many people would agree with me. Really want to offer you my applause, my praise for staying with it for 17 years. That's a long time to go through a process. That takes a lot of courage, guts to do that. And of course, the music is right there with it. It all fits together. Jeff, final question. What advice would you give to those on their awakening journey that you yourself wish you would have known when you started yours?
I'm not big on giving people advice. I present things as an invitation. I meet them as an equal because I'm really, again, speaking to myself. And for me, I would say that try and understand that the external world that you see is a hologram. And people might not understand what that means. So I will say it is a mirror, and it's going to attract, think magnetically, it's going to attract to you the energies that you're holding. Now, in many cases, the ego is going to tell you, well, I got all my stuff together. I'm making money. I got a nice car. All these external things that don't mean anything really on the soul's deeper journey. And so it's really about going within and going, I can feel the frequency of unworthiness inside me. I can feel the frequency of fear. I can feel the frequency of still not good enough that happened when I was with my parents when I was 3 years old or whatever. You don't need to remember the date or the time or anything. I don't. But I can feel things that happened while I was growing up. I grew up Catholic. I was in Catholic schools till 9th grade. I was an altar boy. There was so much shame and guilt and judgment and anger going on. Even in 2nd grade, I was like, whoa, there's something really wrong with this. But I didn't even know what conscious awareness meant. But the body knows frequency.
Yes, it does.
So follow your intuition. And the number one thing is don't be afraid to reach out, because many people do not want to admit to other people that, man, I'm messed up. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Hey, you know what? This journey is a journey of coming in innocent, then getting programmed, and then you spend how many years or decades or maybe a lifetime or lifetimes waking up. So be loving to yourself, be kind to yourself, but find other people that you can be open, vulnerable, and authentic with. And that's what I provide in the groups. It's a very safe space. Things start popping. I have people that come in after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decades, and they have life-altering shifts after 1 or 2 calls. And I'm not saying that to brag. The process works. And when you're able to be mirrored, which means be heard, and have somebody that has walked through and seen the programs of the ego and the fear and the separation, you can start clearing a lifetime of stuff very quickly. And it's a fascinating process. So I just feel honored to spend this time with you and to get to share a bit. And if anybody's interested, please reach out, private message me or whatever. I'm always open to connect, serve, uplift, inspire, and rock and roll.
Well, this is where the power is. When we say we are ready for a change, this is where the power is. And then for you to provide a safe space where people can employ their inner wisdom, and actually have it ignited, is a great gift, Jeff. And I really honor you for bringing yourself to the world and saying, I am here as a facilitator. I've walked this journey and I wish to share with you and provide the space for you to find your own way. There is great respect and great honor in that. And we need it. We all need it. So I so sincerely praise you and your work. Invite people to get in touch with you. And again, I'd like to give that information. Jeff's website is www.portaltoawakening.org. He is on Facebook, Jeff9Cloud, and that is JEFF9 Cloud. And I just love your last name. So Jeff, thank you for being part of the Gratitude series. I am grateful to hear what you're doing and grateful just to be in your presence. And I'm going to be even more grateful as more and more people take advantage of what you're offering them. So gratitude to you, my friend.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a joy, and I look forward to staying in touch and connecting again.
We will. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been listening to part 4 of the Gratitude series with Mr. Jeff Cloud. Jeff, thank you.
The views and opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily those of this podcast, nor is any content intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any illness of any kind, or substitute for proper professional care in this regard. We sincerely hope you have enjoyed today's show. If you're not already a subscriber, please click on the link and join our ever-growing community of goodwill. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us at drhoperadio@gmail.com. That's drhoperadio hoperadio@gmail.com. All of us here at the Deidre Reigel Hope and Healing Radio Show wish you a day filled with hope and joy. Till next time, namaste.